Hi, I hope everyone's well. I just thought I'd do a quick update for my game, The Road Chosen, and it's basically to share sort of progress on the art side, um, and I'll talk a bit about where we're at. This is a Panzer III piece of art. This is for the Panzer III counter. I'm here showing it in the actual software that I use for drawing and painting. This is a finished piece now. And I have to put this into Photoshop into the template I use for my counters. All the stats I've already done. I've been playing testing the game with a counter with a blank piece to show that I need to do the art for it. As you can see, if I just zoom in sort of slowly, let's just leave it there. I had a lot of fun playing with the palette, especially to kind of get a dirty, dusty feel to this piece. This is actually a sort of slightly late war Panzer III. I've drawn this type of tank quite a few times now. There are sort of variants with different guns. I think there might have even been a variant with a flamethrower, but this is a sort of standard late war Panzer III. In many ways, Panzer III, sort of a workhorse, I would describe it as, for the Axis army. Often, not thought of. One of the interesting things that took quite a bit of time is they have these sort of, on this side here, these plates have these sort of, I don't know what you'd call them really, but where the men would non-slip, and as you can see all the dots, it took quite a bit of time. But a lot of fun and quite an interesting shape. I've always enjoyed drawing these sort of panzers. I like all the spare wheels and tools and things like that. Creates a sort of a certain asymmetry to the vehicle, and the same with these sort of the back section here. And again, it took me quite a bit of time to work the palette up to make sure that top of the turret didn't accidentally sort of blend into the chassis, which kind of gives it a more three-dimensional look, I feel. So yeah, I want to call that piece done. I do, every time I load it up, I just want to tweak things, but I've got other things to finish up. And this I'm going to call this one done now. So yeah. So this next piece, this is a Hexa, another German Axis vehicle. I've been lucky enough to see one of these in real life at Tankfest here at Bovington in the UK. They're quite an interesting vehicle, very angular, quite small. I would imagine the interior was quite cramped, but very low profile. Got quite a good gun based on a 38T chassis. I spent quite a bit of time getting the light source right so that the front panel looks a little different in terms of its texture and palette compared to the other panels, and very different on this panel. This is a technique I use quite extensively to help make the object look three-dimensional, even though it's a flat drawing, to help make it feel more alive and more realistic, more believable. I spent quite a bit of time on this. The camo in particular, spent a lot of time working that up. A lot of fun. I've drawn this several times now, this type of vehicle, but never from this angle. So it was quite interesting. Quite pleased with this. I have just spotted I've got to fill this bit of camo in just here, and this is quite normal for me. I'll keep a piece open on my desktop for a few weeks or a week after I'm happy with it, just to tinker and just tweak and tune. Some of these things people don't notice, but I do, and so I'm going to change it. I just thought I'd share that piece as well. And then finally, this is work in progress. So this is a M10 variant. It's called an Achilles. It was used by the British Army. It may have been used by the Canadians as well. Don't think it was used by the Americans. It's basically an M10 gun carriage, but with a bigger gun. It's got 17-pounder in it, which is the same type of gun that is in the Firefly. This packed a hell of a punch, this gun. It's an interesting vehicle to draw because it has this really impressive, from a top-down viewpoint, very impressive turret that is open-topped. I very much enjoyed that. Basically, I've spent quite a bit of time working on the palette, again, to show the difference in the lighting between the front to this top pieces here, to to the side pieces of the turret and the side piece of the vehicle here. And that helps, really helps make the tank feel much more interesting to look at, much more realistic, and yeah, a lot of, to be honest with you, and this is no criticism of the war games, a lot of war games the artist would simply paint this the same colour all over with the same green, but it's one of the things that I've established, I think, with my artwork, that I put a lot of effort in is to create that. And when I say, yeah, many hours are spent working on the palettes. So if we zoom in a little bit, I'll try not to do it too quick. And you can see all the black pieces there is where I need to go through and paint under. You can see very clearly it's a very different palette here than there is even there, for example. Certainly different to here, which again is very different to here, which is very different to there. And that's because all these panels are actually facing slightly different directions. It's a subconscious thing to the viewer. By using different palettes, it makes the viewer almost understand that without recognizing it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've got quite a lot to do on this piece. I should aim to have it finished up by the end of the weekend. I spent last weekend working it up. Now that's all that's left to do on the project now, is to put these final few pieces into the format that I use in Photoshop for the counters. All the stats are worked out, and then the last thing I need to finish up is the last map. I foolishly said as a last stretch goal, give people another map. I just need to finish that up, and that's quite a bit of work. But I'm feeling confident that I'll have everything done by the end of October. I will use all of October to finish the game up. I've got a few people proofreading the rules for me at the moment, so I'm iterating on those every few days just to tweak and tune some of the language. I need to finish that last map and then do a few scenarios for that last map. And then the game will be done. I'm feeling quietly confident that I'll have everything done by the end of October. So yeah, I just thought I'd give everyone an update, show the work, show progress. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching as ever, and take care. Thank you.